Thank you so much. It's so great to be back with you today and talk to you about one of my favorite subjects, and that's NeriumAD. And really what makes it unique, what sets us apart, how do we be good stewards of the blessing that it is that we get to represent NeriumAD. For some of you that don't know, my background before Nerium was from a medical spa. I managed and ran a medical spa in Dallas, Texas, so I got to really, serendipitously work in the anti-aging skincare arena for about 3-4 years before Nerium came along, or we had any idea that Nerium was coming for us. So I got to see not only a lot of great high-end products come through our store and product reps, I got to see a lot of the emotions and concerns that were tied to the consumers of those products. And I got to be able to have a perspective of what makes NeriumAD different, both in terms of the actual product and the user experience. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about that today and share with you how we can be the best representatives of NeriumAD that we can be, because at the end of the day, that is what we're doing, is representing this great product. And so one thing I want to start off with talking about is customer retention, because what Sarah just talked about, the product prospecting system, that gets us the customers. But then what do we do with those customers? 50% of all attrition, which means the loss of the customer, happens in your first 3 months. So that means after 3 months, 50% of that, 50% of who's going to fall away will have fallen away. So what that tells us really is that that first 3 months is crucial. That first 3 months is really crucial for us to pay attention to. And 85% of all that attrition can be narrowed down to 3 simple things: poor communication, poor training, and unmet expectations. 85%. That's a huge percentage, and there's all these other things that we might guess it would be. But to know that if we can just properly communicate and properly train and give people the correct expectations and have their expectations be met, then we can be better stewards of representing this product. Because once we get a preferred customer on board, then we want to make sure we're taking care of them. So there's things that we have. We have a high-end marketing insert that we put in their first preferred customer order. Do you know what's on it? It's in your back office to look at. If I were you, I would know every single thing that was on it, because that means you would know every single frequently asked question we've ever gotten from preferred customers that we put on it. You would have all of the tips for usage and correct expectations. You would know all that information really well, because you would know that your customer is getting that, and therefore you should know that information. We send out preferred customer email campaigns, autoresponder campaigns on your behalf. Do you know what's in those? There are samples of it in your back office, readily available. And so it's just getting in tune with what that preferred customer, in even a brand partner, their experience with the product is like, even if they're having the 5-day trial. So I want to talk about how we can be better communicators, trainers, and presenters of correct expectations. So correct expectations, we just learned, are part of the success of us acquiring new customers and keeping new customers. And the things that we are responsible for helping set correct expectations are, number one, about the usage. We know that the usage experience is vastly different if the person leaves their face damp or they don't. So are we really making sure that gets through? Are we helping being a good communicator and trainer of that so that they have a good experience? The before picture that Sarah talked about is so incredibly important. If I could tell you one thing that's going to help increase your acquisition and retention of customers, it would be that before picture. I've told this story many times, but it's true and it's crazy, so I'll tell it again. But people have some kind of image of their mind of what they look like that simply does not exist. And I don't know what happens, but it happens. And when we were working in a medical spa, it was mandatory that we took before pictures for our own liability, because people would come in and they would get Botox or some other procedure, it worked. It was scientifically proven to work. With Botox, your face is frozen. So they would come back in and they would say, I paid all this money, and now you guys actually gave me a wrinkle. Like, I didn't even have this wrinkle before, and now it's like right here. And it's really discouraging that you would give me this wrinkle. And so, we would say, well, we definitely are concerned about your added wrinkle. Let's look at your before picture, because we have it. And we would look at their before picture with them and say, wow, it looks like you did have that wrinkle and about 40 others that are now gone, and you just now are concentrating on this one. And so the human mind is amazing and great, but it can also make people delusional. So taking this before picture, it really does help set all the correct expectations, because you can show somebody, look, maybe you don't see it in the mirror, and maybe you don't feel it, but this is something that's subjective. I can show you your before picture. I can show you your after picture. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you have kind of that fear of getting that before picture, and it could be an awkward moment or whatever, practice it. Practice saying, oh, okay, great, you try this. Well, now, practice what you're going to say in your head, that segue into getting that picture. Because I can tell you that with the sample, and even with your customers that decide that they're going to be a user before, and even with your brand partners, almost more importantly with your brand partners, they're building a business on NeriumAD. And they're the ones that never take their before picture. And that's crazy to me. Not only for their own belief, because their before picture, if you have a great before and after picture and you did it right, took the time to just simply get it in the same setting and lighting, then that's going to be your biggest marketing material. Those of you that are NMDs that have those pictures, I've heard from you that people might have an objection of you showing them a marketing piece, but as soon as you say, here's my picture, or here's my friend's picture, or here's my neighbor's picture, people's guards go down, because it really is real. The other expectation that we need to set is time frame. And some of you will notice that over the past 4 or 5 months, we've taken the time frame off of our pictures. And this is a crazy discussion that I only think happens in NeriumAD headquarters. People were getting results too fast. And we felt like we had all these pictures that were true, and it had taken 2 weeks, it had taken 4 weeks. But it was setting incorrect expectations, because not everyone's skin is going to respond to that. And it's not really a correct expectation to think that you're going to fix in 2 weeks, which you've neglected for 45 years. And that's what people wanted. But we're not going to give it to them. So we made that decision, on the behalf of the good of everybody, that really the expectation should be, yes, this product can work really quick, but it's going to continue to build and build, and your results are going to continue to get better and better with usage. And just, the continuing usage part, this is not a quick fix. We don't want to sell it that way, because that's not how skincare works. Because the crazy thing about the aging process is it continues. So you're going to continue to get older or younger, as Marilyn Diamond teaches us. But your skin, your cells are always regenerating. And damage that you've done 15 years back are now just coming to the surface. So it's a continual process. So we want to have that kind of language when we talk about it. And then people always ask us about what should be their expectations in using other products. And we try to keep things really simple, because that's what we think part of what's been this beautiful growth in NeriumAD's success and its usage across, all kinds of age ranges and demographics and male and female, is because it's so simple. And so there's some suggestions that we have, but a lot of times people will ask, can I use this with, they have some other really strong anti-aging product that they're using, like a retinol or something to that effect. That's very stripping. And what I tell them is that, there's no known counterindications with NeriumAD. So there's nothing that we know for sure has an interaction with NeriumAD that has been proven in any way. But things like retinols and harshness, they really can't be used with much of anything, because they're so harsh. So that's just the matter of fact of using anything with them. So there's no way for us to know. So we ask them to try out the combination on their hand or some other place. But I would also encourage them to just try only using NeriumAD for an amount of time, for however long you can get them to commit to, because some of our best results have come from not only our clinical trial, that was how it was performed. These users were not using any other anti-aging product but NeriumAD, but some of our best users' results come from men. And that's because they keep it really simple. They're barely washing their face and slapping it on in a random pattern, and they're still getting great results. And that's because they're not putting on a lot of different things, confusing their skin. More is not always better. More is just more. And so having a simplistic routine for your skin is better. So we try and get people who will believe that with us to go that route. But if they won't, and they want to use other harsh products, then I would just have them test it out on their hand. People ask, what is the ultimate kind of cleanser and moisturizer? This is mostly the ladies. The men aren't really asking us this. But what is the ultimate thing to use with NeriumAD? So really, these are just general tips for those skin types. But for cleansers, we recommend if you have sensitive or dry skin, you use a mild moisturizing cream, kind of like a Cetaphil. That's just going to be gentler on your skin in general, no matter what other products you're using. But it creates a good base layer to start using NeriumAD with if you do have really dry and sensitive skin. And for a moisturizer, I really do feel like it's important that people use moisturizers that have very dry skin. Because if you leave your skin dry and it's not moisturized, you're starting in an agitated state. Your skin's in an agitated state when you start using anything else. So it's important to keep that moisture. So I would choose a moisturizer that's high in emollients, such as glycerin. And it doesn't have to be super expensive. It can be from the drugstore. It doesn't really matter. But use moisturizer until your skin does not feel irritated and dry, so that you have a good baseline to start from. And that can be once a day in the morning. That's what I do. Some people need it twice a day if they have really dry skin, or maybe they live in a drier climate. And so you can use a moisturizer with NeriumAD if you absolutely have that type of skin type. You would just use it. We tell people to use things thinnest to thickest. So you would use NeriumAD, or you would use your moisturizer and then NeriumAD. So that's just a tip for helping people, because we've had a lot of questions. And I only do these simple tips because they kind of relate to everyone. And I don't ever want to get into training on the micro details of skincare, because the worst thing that you could become for your business is a skincare expert. The absolute worst thing that you could do for your business is to become a skincare expert. And that is because this was not built by skincare experts. And not everyone is going to identify with a skincare expert. Not everyone wants to be a skincare expert, have to know all the information. That's why we have great resources. We have a great resource called the Product Guide. That's in your back office, in your document library. It's literally 2 or 3 pages of everything you would ever want to know about NeriumAD. So use that. You don't have to be the information. If somebody has questions about ingredients or this or that, it really goes through every single answer. So use that. And if somebody has questions that you're talking to as a potential customer, use Beautiful You. You don't want to sit down in front of somebody and give them the whole spiel. You do all this great legwork and you show before and after pictures on Facebook. And they get interested, like, wow, how'd you get those results? Or how did that user get that result? Well, let me tell you. First, there was Dr. Newman. He was in a field. He extracted a plant, put it in a bottle. The bottle got clinically tested, 30% ST&T, came back, said it was the greatest product ever. And this guy down Smothers, he said something, and then this came to market, and then it's like fabulous, here's these pictures and these clinical trials. They're just like, what just happened? But I've literally heard you guys do that. I am not making this up. And so use Beautiful You magazine. It is such a great, high-end, high-quality resource for you to use to explain what NeriumAD is. And then use the resources you have on the back end for proper communication and trading, such as the product guide, such as looking at the emails that are sent to your preferred customers, or looking at the actual brochure that they get in their first order. And so it's our mission to use NeriumAD and products like NeriumAD to become a billion-dollar company. That's our mission at the home office. That's what we think about. That's what we show up with a plan to do every day. And so this anti-aging market is so huge and expansive, and one of the only markets that is continuing to grow in a down economy. And that simply is the facts. With or without us, that growth is happening. And so for us to become a billion-dollar company, we have to only grab 1% of the already existing market, a 1% market share. You guys think that we can do that? I truly believe that we can do that as well. We have such a difference maker in our product. And some of the things that I just want to quickly highlight, because I think that you know, is that NeriumAD is different for a number of reasons. First, because it was an actual breakthrough. No one has this NAE8 extract, this Nerium oleander extract, and that's huge. And in my whole time being at a medical spa, I did not see one product come through that wasn't just a repackaging of things that already existed, or a new naming convention for things that already existed. Because most of the time, when people are creating products, they're just selecting off of a shelf from a product formulator what they want. You know, I'll take this, this, this in my product. When they go to make that next product, you know what's not there for them to select from? Nerium oleander, the NAE8 extract. And that's so huge, that difference maker for us. And this ingredient is incredible because it's gentle, it's plant-based, and it's able to address multiple concerns at once. Before, even in a medical spa setting, I would have to give somebody 3, 4, 5 products if they had issues with, discoloration was one product, texture was one product, wrinkles was one product, pores was a different product. And that was because they were having to use harsh ingredients to treat all of those differently. And so it's magnificent that we're able to put everything into this all-in-one type of product and bring it to the marketplace. We have great results, both in clinical trial results, where this was done by a subjective scanning machine. A lot of clinical trials are based on just the opinion of the participant or the opinion of the doctor. We wanted something that was hard data. And hard data saying that 30% reduction in the first 30 days can be expected is phenomenal. Most products get 2 to 7%. So we're offering this product that has great results because of this exclusive ingredient. And the real result pictures that we get in day and day, every day, just astound me, just the transformation. And what really touches me even more than that is to be able to be a part of something that's sharing not only the transformation of people's skin, but what that does on the transformation inside, and hearing Randy's story and lots of other stories. I think that's just phenomenal that we get to be stewards of that. And then all of that wrapped into low competitive pricing and the ability to get your product for free as a customer. And so like Sarah said, if you're going back to expectations, if you have a customer and a preferred customer, and one of the things that you've talked to them about is getting their product for free, and then they sign up as a preferred customer and you don't reach down and help them get their product for free, that leads to unmet expectations. And unmet expectations leads to lower retention. And so we want to make sure if we're promoting 3 or free that we're saying, hey, when can I book the 3 or free party? All you have to do is invite people and I'll do the rest. Hey, let me show you how you can I can send out some emails to your friends about this product and see if they're interested for you. Help them along the way. Because people who are getting their product for free, you know what their attrition rate is? 0. People don't leave a product that they're getting for free. So the more people you can help qualify for 3 or free, the more preferred customers you're going to retain. But you have a great starting base. I can tell you that the retention that NeriumAD has of product is phenomenal. I've seen lots of products and usage patterns, and people really do fall in love with NeriumAD because of the difference makers. But we want to always be on our on our best foot forward and trying to increase that as much as we can. So what are the elements that we need to do together to help NeriumAD capture that 1%, be a billion-dollar company? We want to protect the name, like we talked about yesterday, and having only representation of NeriumAD coming from a corporate standpoint, and not using NeriumAD in your Facebook pages and things that could be confusing of that nature. Not trying to get into the pattern of telling the story about Nerium, the accidental discovery, and all of these details of these doctors. Because sometimes on accident, we get the story wrong or whatever happens. So it all goes back to using Beautiful You. It has the story in the perfect way that makes sense to that end consumer. Protecting the real purpose of this product. NeriumAD is a cosmetic product. It's meant to treat those things that are on the back of the box for it. And anything, any kind of recommendation or representation that you provide to other people outside of those could actually be harmful for them. We are not here to tell people that this product can do anything outside of what this wrinkles, discoloration, texture, pores. And that's where people are spending their money. That is a hot spot. It's not in all these other things. But telling people to try it for psoriasis or all these other things, eczema or whatever else it is, actually could harm their skin because their skin is not a normal condition. So we should not be in the position to make that call. We are not doctors, and even if we are doctors, we're representing a cosmetic product. And so it's really important, not only from an integrity standpoint, but from a regulatory standpoint. We are governed by the FDA to only represent this product that are under the restrictions of a cosmetic, and those are very specific. And so some of you try to get creative, because I see you on Facebook. But it's really important to the integrity of this company, and it's something that I'm really passionate about, because I will do whatever it takes to make sure that this company is a part of your forever legacy. And that 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line will be as stable and more stable than we are today. But that comes with marketing and coming into compliance on those things that are necessary to do. So if you see something as out of compliance, you can email us at compliance@nerium.com. And a lot of times it's just a learning experience. We're not mean, we're just there to help that person learn what is and is not okay to market this for. So join us in that effort. We really do want to be a company that has integrity across the board, and part of that is representing our product in the best way. And that's a way of, these are the only things that I'm about to go over that you can market this product for. So last night, we talked about our silencer and what kept us from talking. Well, now I'm going to ask you to forget that for a moment, and this is actually the opposite of what you need to be silenced about. And so these are the things that we can market the product for, and then everything else we need to zip the lips. So let's go over what we can market the product for, because this is amazing in itself, that we can market the product for all of these great things. So we can market the NeriumAD for the appearance of brown discoloration, for red discoloration, for crow's feet, for the appearance of furrow lines, those 11s that are in between your eyes, for the appearance of forehead wrinkles, for the appearance of under eye wrinkles, for the appearance of aging necks, for the appearance of aging jowls, those smile lines, for the appearance of chest wrinkles, the appearance of your chest wrinkles and discoloration, because a lot of times we have discoloration on our hands and in our chest from sun exposure. We can market this for the appearance of pore size, and we can market this for the appearance of texture. Do you guys see that all of those things being in one product is enough? Enough to really build a solid, stable business, and enough for us to be a billion-dollar company, and enough for us to do it with integrity. So I ask that you join us in that and be a good example of that, that you help pay attention to your efforts and doing proper communication, training, and expectations for all of your customers and users of NeriumAD, and that we all together represent this in the highest light. So we're going to do a quick little pledge that I always have everyone do with me, and that's to keep us to a commitment to each other, that we're going to do this right, and we're going to do it in a way that's going to be both beneficial for you and your business, but for everyone. So you can repeat after me. NeriumAD treats the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, discoloration, texture, pores, aging skin, and nothing else. Nothing else. Are you guys with me? So I have no doubt in the future of where NeriumAD is going, and we continue to see better and better results now that we have people who have actually been on our product for a year. That's so exciting in the future of this product line. And so I see nothing but greatness for every single one of you out here. I am so blessed to call you a representative of this company and sharing NeriumAD, and I'm so thankful for all of you doing this in the highest of class way and with integrity. So my only question with you is, what percentage are you going to capture? Thank you, guys.